Hi students, good morning. I hope you all are fine and well. Today we are standing in front of our science lab. I know you all are missing this place very well because in this situation we cannot do anything, and we are trying to show you some of the things what are present inside the lab today through this video. I hope you all will enjoy. Shall we start? Okay, dear students, we can start with our body itself. You know, our body is made up of different parts, different organs are there, and you know we have a structural part which is known as bones. Different types of bones are there in our body, and which gives a structure and a posture to our body. So we can begin with our body. So here you are seeing the skeleton of our body made up of different types of bones. Okay, you can see different bones are there in this skeleton, and which is giving a structure to our body. Okay, so we can learn with our head. So this is our head part. It is visible to you. I know you all are familiar with your head. Different organs are there. Okay, so our head contains a specific bone which is called a skull. This is the skull, and which is protecting our brain. You know, our brain is there inside our head, which is protected by skull. Okay, here you can see some holes. It is for our eyes, and this is for our nose, and here you can see teeth, mouth. Okay, all these are here in this part. Okay, and the next one here, head is joined with our neck. Okay, there is a joint which is known as pivotal joint. Okay, at the neck region, head is connected to the neck with a joint which is known as pivotal joint. Just below that we can see our chest region. This is our so here is our chest region, contain rib bones. Ribs are there. Okay, different small ribs are there. Inside the ribs we have our lungs and heart. That means heart and lungs are protected by this rib cage. It is just like a cage. That is why it is known as rib cage. Okay, just below that this part is our stomach. Okay, and then we can see the next part. Okay, hip joint. This is the hip joint. So here it is stomach part. Okay, there are no bones in that area. Okay, then just below stomach we have hip bones. Hip joint is there, and below that we have our legs. Okay, you know, you have studied about the largest bone in our body, which is femur. This is the largest bone in our body, which is called a femur or thigh bone, which is at the thigh region. Okay, and then after that we have knee. Then we have our leg. Last part it is toes. Okay, these are the different bones in our leg. And when we take our hand, okay, here also we have our shoulder joint. Shoulder joint is there, elbow joint is there, shoulder joint, elbow joint, and here we have our palm. At the end of palm we have our fingers. Okay, so these are the different bones in our body. And when we look at the back part of our body, we have vertebra. Okay, backbone, which is protecting or giving us a structure. By how we can stand properly or sit properly, because of the presence of these bones, they are known as backbones. I hope you understood about your body skeletal system, which contain different types of bones, and they are giving a structure to our body. Most of the bones protects our internal organs. Now we can see about the next part of our body. They are muscles. Okay, already we have learned that bones are giving structure to our body, and that is giving structure, and all the bones are covered with the muscles, which gives flexibility to our body. So different types of muscles are there in our body. You can see the structure of different muscles. Okay, which is giving flexibility to our body. We can move each and every part because of the presence of
It's covered
muscles.
in a protective sheath or layer called the epimysium. The epimysium protects the muscle from friction against other muscles and bones. It also continues at the end of the muscle to form, along with other connective tissues, the tendon which attaches the muscle to the bone. Each muscle is made up of a number of bundles of muscle fibers called fasciculi. The fasciculi are contained within another connective tissue called the perimysium. Each bundle of muscle fibers contains anywhere from 10 and 100 individual fibers. A large, strong muscle, such as those in the quadriceps group, would have a large number of fibers within each bundle. A smaller muscle used for precision movement, such as those in the hand, would contain far fewer muscle fibers in each bundle. Each muscle fiber is also covered in a fibrous connective layer of tissues called the endomysium, which insulates each fiber. Beneath the endomysium is the sarcolemma, which is the muscle fiber's cell membrane, and beneath this is the sarcoplasm. This is a gelatinous fluid which contains glycogen and fats for energy, as well as mitochondria, inside which the cell's energy is produced. Each muscle fiber itself contains cylindrical organelles known as myofibrils. Each muscle fiber contains hundreds or thousands of myofibrils, which themselves are bundles of proteins called actin and myosin. These run the length of the muscle fiber and are important in muscle contraction. Surrounding the myofibril, there is a network of tubules and channels called the sarcoplasmic reticulum, where calcium is stored, which is also important for muscle contraction. Each myofibril can be broken down into functional repeating segments called sarcomeres, which are the basis for muscle contraction theory known as sliding filament theory. For more on physical education and sports coaching,
Next, we can learn about one of the important organs of our body, which is our heart. Heart is known as pump house of our body. We can see the structure of heart here, which has different chambers. That means human heart is 4-chambered heart, which has 4 chambers. They are right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle and left ventricle, which is carrying or pumping blood to different parts of our body. Okay. Our body is made up of cells. Cells provide energy, or which is synthesizing energy by consuming oxygen and glucose. Okay, to that cells, heart is pumping blood through blood vessels. Here we can see the model of our heart. It is made by one of your friends, Shamana of class 10. So here you can see 4 chambers. I told already, which is auricle and ventricle. Right ventricle, left ventricle, right auricle, left auricle, and which is here you can see blood vessel, okay, through which blood is transporting to different parts of our body. Now we can learn about most important part of our body, which is brain. Okay, we have already learned that our brain is there in our head, which is protected by a bone which is called a skull. Okay, that is skull is protecting our brain. Here you can see the structure of our central nervous system. It is connected to our brain with different parts of our body. Many neurons are there. Neurons are the nerve cells that is connecting our body, each and every part of our body. When we touch a hot material, we will take our hands back, because that time itself our brain is saying that it is very hot. That time itself that message is passing to our brain. Within a fraction of seconds we are taking our hands back, because our brain is saying that that is hot material, don't touch. That much speed action is happening in our body because of the presence of our brain and central nervous system. Okay, central nervous system contain different parts. One, it is our brain. Here we can see the model of our brain. Okay, here it is the structure of our brain. Okay, so here you can see different parts. Okay, you will be learning in class 10 about more about this one, brain. Okay. So this is the back part of our brain. Here you can see it is connected with other part of our central nervous system, which is called a spinal cord. Okay, spinal cord is connected to all part of our body, and it is traveling through the backbone to the back part of our body, from brain to back part of our body. Okay, so we have two different parts, left part and a right part. When we do some actions with our right hand or right leg, our left brain is working, and when we do something with our left hand, that time our right brain is working. So I know you have learned about that in your abacus class, when that teachers explain about the use of fingers, using your left hand and right hand to move the beads of the abacus tool. We are using both the hands. That time both the part of our brain is working and making us thinking properly to do the action. Okay, now we can learn about our digestive system. You have already learned about digestion. Digestion is what? We are taking food through our mouth, it is reaching our stomach. From there some process is happening to the food, and then digestion is taking place. After that, undigested food is moving out through a part which is called the anus or rectum. Okay, now we can see structure of our digestive system. Here it is the mouth. Okay, through mouth we are taking in food. That process is called the ingestion. Ingestion means taking food through our mouth. And it is this part together, it is called a buccal cavity, and inside the mouth we have salivary glands. We are producing saliva, okay, for the digestion of food. When we take food inside the mouth, the saliva is producing, and food is mixing with the saliva, making the food a jelly like material. When we chew the food, that time it is becoming a jelly like material, and then carbohydrate of food is being digested inside the mouth itself. Okay, and then the food is, we are swallowing the food, through it is reaching this passing through this pipe to the stomach. This is our stomach, from where food is getting further digestion. Inside the stomach, it is producing hydrochloric acid, and mucus is there, which is helpful for the digestion of protein. Okay, hydrochloric acid is produced inside the stomach, and which is killing the microbes that enters our body along with our food. Okay, that is the main function of hydrochloric acid inside the stomach. And here you can see the next part, it is connected to the digestive system, which is the largest gland of our body, which is called a liver. The largest gland of our body, liver. And the next we can see pancreas here, which is controlling the insulin production of our body, and when the amount is increasing or when the amount of insulin is decreasing, that time we are facing the problem diabetic. That you know, normally people they are saying that a sugar patient. Next part of our digestive system, it is small intestine. It is connected to the stomach, and this part is small intestine. From there our food is, fat content of our food is getting digested, which is absorbing all the fat content, and it is getting digested inside the small intestine. Then it is, small intestine is connected to the large intestine. This is the large intestine, and at the end of the large intestine we can see an opening, that is anus and rectum, through which undigested food or feces is going out. Next part of our body, which is excretory system. Excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. Kidneys contain filtering unit. They are called nephrons. Okay, which is filtering all the waste materials from the blood and which is traveling through ureter, and it is stored in a sac-like structure which is called urinary bladder. And from the urinary bladder, excess water and waste material is going out through urethra as urine. Next we can learn one of the major instrument used in science lab, which is our microscope. You know, it is used to check microscopic materials. If we want to know more about microscopic materials, we can use microscope. Here we can see a compound microscope which has different parts. Okay, eyepiece is there, adjustment is there, coarse adjustment and fine adjustment is there. The next we have a lens, and at the bottom we can see a mirror which is taking the light from outside and which is reflecting the light to this part. Here you can see slides where we can keep slide to observe. Okay, so this is how we are using a microscope to check. Through this eyepiece we can look down and we will get the correct picture of the image. Practice make man perfect. Through practical knowledge we can do wonders. We can learn more wonders of science in the next video, and today we can wind up. Thank you. Have a nice day.